What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the CaliKidOfficial Podcast. This is episode number 25, so let's get right into it. So, over the past week, we've got some breaking news out of the NFL. So, Patrick Mahomes has just recently signed the richest deal in sports history. He had 2 years left on his contract, but he signed a 10-year extension, making it 12 years that he will be with the Kansas City Chiefs. The deal is worth 503 million. So if you break that down over 12 years, it comes out to about 41.9 million a year. So he's going to be with them for the foreseeable future. There's also a bunch of mechanisms and language within the contract that allows both parties to pull out of the deal if they so choose to. So it's 477 million guaranteed in mechanisms. There's no trade clause, and there's outs if mechanisms aren't exercised. So this new deal is basically going to become like the standard and the blueprint for future deals regarding quarterbacks and other superstars of his standing, because as you know, Dak Prescott, he's been trying to get a deal with the Cowboys, so they're more than likely going to try to use this as like a benchmark for how they go forward with their deal. I don't think he's going to get as much money as Patrick, but they're going to use this as like a benchmark. So his deal might be maybe 5 to 10 million per year lower, but thought that was pretty interesting. Also within sports, UFC 251, which is Saturday, we're going to be getting Kamaru Usman defending his title against Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal is basically like the replacement fighter, because the original bout was supposed to be Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns, but he had to pull out due to contracting COVID-19. So we get this as the main event on the first part of Fight Island. This is probably the fight that most people wanted to see anyway, so that should be pretty interesting. Also within sports, the NBA as well as the WNBA have finally started to make their way to the Disneyland resort, where they're going to be conducting the rest of their seasons, and the living conditions are less than favorable. Both the men and women have posted videos and pictures of the living conditions, and it's not looking too swell. So I wanted to pull that up. So hold on. All right, here we go. So this is basically like the women's washroom. It looks crazy. Got a mouse trap in there, so that means that there's mice within the facility. That's not good at all. And then this is from one of the rooms. So it looks like there's worms on the carpet. It's like y'all make all this money and this is the best that y'all have to offer them. Someone said, I know a trap house when I see one. Y'all are too much on this app. Considering the bubble is meant to keep players safe from corona, this is just horrific to see. Yeah, and then like this is the mans look better, probably more so because they produce more money. But still, if you're gonna have people down here at a quote unquote resort, it got to be better than what they're providing. Like that's crazy. So this is the first part, I think. No, this is the first part right here.
Look at the blanket, bro.
Like that, they gave him that little ass blanket for 6 foot tall players.
Look at the blanket, bro. Bro. What the fuck? Nah, I know Bron ain't got this. I know Bron ain't.
And that's the funny part, because whenever they show something, they like, I know Bron ain't dealing with this. I know Bron ain't got this. And Bron commented, going away like this is like, feel like I'm supposed to do a prison bid. I ain't want to leave my family, which I'm pretty sure a lot of the athletes didn't want to do that, it's unfortunate with the circumstances how you have to maneuver around through things, but this is crazy.
I know they not using this little ass blanket, bro.
Like, how is that a resort and y'all got, that's some bullshit. I would have stayed home. Y'all get that little ass cover to these tall ass players. Look. That crazy. Y'all got all that money and this is the best y'all can do? That shit is crazy. And then this is like the second part of that. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Right here.
What's up with y'all, man? This shit's ass. I ain't gonna hold it, but it's hoops, y'all. Got my little band and shit with my name on it.
Yeah, little tracking device watches that they was talking about.
Tracking device. Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Look at this bag. Let me ask you this. We professional athletes and all that, right? 35, 34, maybe 30, 300-400 million making from some of these dudes. 30, 40, 50 million a year. You want these niggas to eat this shit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But then be over there crying, talking about somebody can't stay healthy and they buy.
And that's the thing. This is a resort. Why isn't the food options up to par? I know they said that it's supposed to get better or whatever, and that this is what they're offering for right now. It's not as though that they're accommodating 1,000 people or thousands of people like they do on a cruise ship. And even with a cruise ship, the dining is top tier compared to this. Y'all gotta step that up. It's like y'all want people to risk their health to play basketball, and y'all providing less than, you know, up to par amenities.
Body breaking down and all this other shit.
And they supposed to be on that lockdown for 3 months.
I'm just saying, you want a motherfucking Ferrari to run like a Ferrari because you paid for it as a Ferrari, but you keep gassing it up with motherfucking Chrysler shit. So this is my bag or is my food? Because I'm not supposed to open the door. A what?
He the life of the party though so far on this shit.
Look at the homie. Look at the game. Hey, kill. Hey, yo, man, chill, bro. Look at the game, bro. We out here. Sack lunches and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sack lunches and shit. Hey, DJ sponsor all over.
It says sack lunches and shit. Oh shit.
There you go, look, there you go. Ooh, young shit.
As soon as they let us out of the room, we're not going to be in the room.
Yeah, it's all
Be anywhere but the room.
for sure. I'm waiting for this game to come. I'm about to let my shit up. For sure.
And then I guess the NBA people, I guess the NBA people saw his little live or whatever, and they basically made him get off live because they didn't want him airing out the bullshit that they present him with. Like, step it up and you won't be getting aired out. They need to do better for the women's NBA as well as the men's. Is like all that money and this is what y'all have to offer.
They know the kid.
Crazy.
They know the kid. Oh, the pizza meal, boy. Oh man, they mad at me, bro. I'm gone. Just got the text. Exposing too much shit. Gotta go. My bad.
Yeah, they don't like that. Well, y'all gotta step that shit up. It's like y'all want these players to risk their health, but y'all not providing. It should be up to par. Same thing with the NFL. Like they've been put out like the rules and stuff for like the supposed upcoming season, the players can tackle each other and whatnot, but then after the game they can exchange jerseys. They have to stay 6 feet apart. Like the whole thing is backwards. And then like the players that's on the sideline, they have to wear a mask and stuff. I don't know. This whole thing is stupid to me. But moving on from that, so apparently 50 Cent and ruffled some feathers. He was on Lil Wayne's show called the Lil Wayne radio show, which is like a podcast, and it was basically talking about a whole bunch of different things. And basically they brought up you know, when they're looking at different women and stuff like that, like when you haven't seen a specific type of woman, they look different and look exotic. And of course, you know, that angered Black Twitter or whatever. So let's see. We're gonna go into depth with everything that he actually said, because you know people always want to get fake mad over stuff. So
you see what I'm saying? And I look and I go, yo, this is why they get mad, they get angry. You see a lot of sisters, they go, oh, you fucking with this kind of girl or that kind of girl. That shit is exotic. Stupid. That shit looks a lot different from the shit that you see in the neighborhood all the time.
it looks different from what you see in the neighborhood all the time. It do. If you see something that you ain't even seen before, of course you're gonna be like, oh, what's that? What is that like? That's just a natural, you know, instinct or whatever. And then we're gonna go more into it.
That shit look like it came off a boat, baby. You don't like that, motherfucker? You don't like that? You go, goddamn, what's the matter with you? It feels like something foreign. It feels like something that you can't just get. So in some kind of ways, it is interesting to explore. You know what I'm saying? But they get mad, they get angry. How did you end up with this motherfucker or this guy? I'm like, huh?
For real. They get real.
I just look at it like, oh, look at this, and then my instincts always makes me defensive. So I go, look at this angry black motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. Trying to fuck up the whole vibe. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because you're going.
What part of that he said was false? I don't see. He didn't disrespect anyone, but once again, you know, people, they get mad over, you know, the littlest things. This reminds me of when this past NFL draft, you had the NFL draft. You had several other different players, them with their girlfriends, and then you had people comment like, oh, he with her, but she not dark skinned and this, that, and the third. Is like, why does it even matter? It's like you so concerned about what somebody else is doing in their own personal life. That to me sounds like some type of insecurity, but I don't see anything he said that was wrong. He didn't disrespect anyone. He didn't call nobody out their name or nothing like that. But you know, that's just another you know, instance of people getting mad over nothing. And then of course, you know, you go to the comments and stuff like that. I'm so sick of black men making it seem like black women are jealous of women of other races another way. Then some people feel that way, some people aren't. When you say stuff like, oh, you with this person but they're not this skin complexion or that skin complexion, that sounds like some form of jealousy or insecurity to me. And he's with a black woman too. So whole thing is stupid if you ask me. We don't really care. We really don't care if you want something exotic or foreign, but there's no need to disrespect us, especially when black women are the ones in the streets fighting for you. I didn't see where he disrespected you at. But you know, it is what it is. Also, speaking of 50 Cent, T.I. has called him out for a versus challenge. He basically wants to put his catalog up against 50 Cent's. He feels as though his catalog is better, and he's basically going on like this versus campaign. But both of them do have decent discography, so it will be an interesting battle. But of course, you know what, 50 Cent, he's gonna come out trolling, which I thought he would do. So he says, for your birthday, I offer you a challenge, sir. Pull your ass up with 20 of your records, sit across from me, and get this work. T.I. said in a birthday message to 50 before referencing the 2007 battle of Curtis versus his graduation, which that battle was more so promotion for both of the artists. You know, during that time, 50 Cent was transitioning from music into film and movies and stuff like that. But I understand if you don't want to answer to that challenge, because last time you got challenged, Kanye West dusted your ass off, so you might not want to do that. Well, guess who ain't scared of your motherfucking ass, 50? And then, like, this whole situation brought up some unnecessary drama. Apparently, Tony Yayo, who's one of 50 Cent's affiliates, got mad at a joke made by one of T.I.'s partners at 50's birthday, and it turned into this whole thing of pulling out pistols and stuff like that. Like, that's not what's needed, but a battle between 50 and T.I. in terms of music, that would be interesting. And 50's catalog is, extensive, Of course, you got his mixtape days. Of course, you got, the Get Rich or Die Trying album, the G Unit albums, the documentary, which he pretty much wrote the biggest songs that were on there, and etc., etc. But and then he's T.I. He's pushing his as like a New York versus ATL type of thing, because I think it was at the Source Awards or something a while back where Andre 3000 was like the South got something to say. So that's what this is being pitched as. But it would be an interesting battle. And of course, 50 Cent responds. He says, "Yo, somebody passed T.I. the weed they gave Smokey on Friday," laughing out loud. But it would be interesting to see that. Also in music, Black Thought is going to be releasing the follow-up to Streams of Thought. This one will be called Streams of Thought Volume 3, Cain and Abel. It was going to be 13 tracks. It's slated for July 31st. And some of the features are Swiss Beats, Pusha T, Killer Mike, Portugal the Man, The Last Artful, Dodger, C.S. Armstrong, and Schoolboy Q. And the first single, called Thought versus Everybody, is set for July the 10th. So that should be interesting. The last two he put out have gotten rave reviews. So, I expect the same thing from that follow-up album. And then we also get Juice WRLD's posthumous album that just released today. It's called Legends Never Die. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but from what I've heard, a lot of the tracks are kind of like pop oriented, with mixed with like a little bit of emo rap or whatever. But I haven't actually had a chance to listen to it, so can't tell you too much about that. But those are the two projects that dropped this week. Also in the news, there's been updates in terms of the Pop Smoke murder. There's been 5 suspects arrested, 2 of which are juveniles, and the other 3 are adults. The names of the 3 adults have been released, and you have 19-year-old Corey Walker, 18-year-old Keandre Rogers, and 21-year-old Jaquan Murphy. The charges for Walker and Rogers is, of course, murder, and then Murphy is being charged with attempted murder. The bail is set at $1 million for each. The charges for the juveniles haven't been released yet, but it's interesting though that these suspects were behind a murder last year at the Rose Bowl of Cameron Stone. So the LAPD and Pasadena PD worked together to get these guys into custody, and all suspects, they're saying, is connected to some LA street gang, and they didn't know Pop Smoke. They got his address apparently from him posting it online. He posted a picture online. That was one of the theories. There's also some dude that came out that said that Pop Smoke owed somebody some money, so when he saw the address, he sent it to his dudes or whatever, but he don't want to be charged. And the thing is, like, you shouldn't even have said anything, because now you're going to be most likely charged as an accessory to that. There's also other theories that this was done because of that car he stole, so ain't no telling which is which, but at least there's something being done in terms of what happened. So there's that. And a couple of months back, I should say, yeah, about a month or so back, the woman known as Central Park Karen, she made the false call to the police. But so now apparently there's going to be charges brought against her due to that incident. Manhattan DA Cy Vance Jr. has filed charges. She's being charged with falsely reporting an incident in the third degree, which carries a 1 year max prison term, and the arraignment is set for October 14th. The interesting thing about this is the guy that was involved in this case is saying that he's not going to cooperate, which I believe is selfish. You need to cooperate, so this sets a standard and a precedent for those that this may or may not happen to in the future. So you need to stop trying to skip out on doing what's right and cooperate just because you don't want your name in the media or whatever. I think, and that's why he's doing that. But you need to cooperate because there needs to be a standard set, for this type of thing. But also in the news, Uber and Postmates are coming together to form a super company in a sense. So the deal is 2.65 billion. It's an all stock deal, which basically means that when a company acquires the other company in an all stock deal, those that were investors in both companies receive an equal amount of shares as they had before the deal happened. So basically they're just going to have to reevaluate how much everything was worth, but you're still going to be given the same amount of shares within the company. And the deal is to help mitigate losses in the car ride service because, as you know, everybody's in the house. And then the deal also is going to give them 30% of the food delivery share. The other 45% is DoorDash, and then the remaining 25% is by others. So this is going to increase their foothold within the food delivery service, which is, a smart move to do. You're involved in, basically like a taxi light business, and now you're involved in delivering as well. So delivering food as well. So that's pretty interesting. And it said that the deal is expected to close in Q1 of 2021, pending, approval from regulators, and, the shareholders have to vote on the deal and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. And we also get an update for Book 2 of Power. Is slated to release in September, and it's basically going to take a closer look at how Ghost got his start, and probably how he met Kanan and Tommy and all that type of thing. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So, but that's going to pretty much do it for this week's podcast. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and a comment if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify and everywhere else, I appreciate you all for tuning in. And until the next one, peace.